Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice is okay. Those are words I never thought I would say or come out of my mouth. I've had a very long and rocky history with this film, and let me take you back to 2016. I was 11 years old. I was a casual viewer. I never read or watched any reviews. I wasn't that into it as I am now. So I go online and I don't remember who I was with, but I was gonna book tickets for the movie, and I just Googled Batman vs. Superman, and I figured that tickets would pop up. And the first article that I saw was Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill react to poor reviews to Batman vs. Superman. And I remember at that moment I was like, oh crap. And this is the first movie where I've been told that it was bad going into it, ever. I saw the movie back in 2016, and I enjoyed it in 2016 when I first saw it. And it had me curious. Batman vs. Superman had me curious, thinking, what's a good movie? What's a bad movie? What made this movie bad? What was so terrible about Batman vs. Superman that I literally saw an article saying how it was bad? No, that was just me back then thinking like an idiot. But, obviously, no matter what reviews a movie gets, there's going to be an article on it. But anyways, so I went to my main movie friend, who back then was much more into it than I am, and now I'm much more obsessed than he is, which is kind of funny how that worked out. And I asked them what they thought of Batman vs. Superman. They told me he hated it, I need to hate it, the whole world needs to hate Batman vs. Superman, and he told me why. And so now when people ask me what got me into movies, now my answer is...
The red capes are coming!
Now it was August 2016, and I was getting ready to see Suicide Squad. And I was pretty excited. I remember, I just remember being pretty pumped to watch Suicide Squad because everyone thought that movie was going to be great. And I remember thinking to myself as the credits rolled, I felt better after watching Batman vs. Superman. And I was like, but thinking to myself, but Batman vs. Superman is the worst movie ever, so this also can't be the worst movie ever. So I lied to myself, telling myself that Batman vs. Superman is worse. Yeah, that was just great. So I decided that I needed to watch Batman vs. Superman again. If I was gonna hate it, I need to properly hate it, I couldn't just blindly hate it anymore. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to watch Batman vs. Superman again. I bought the Blu-ray, and I watched it, and I forced myself to pick it apart and hate it. And like an idiot, I also did not watch the Ultimate Edition. By 2017, I was very much fascinated in the film, and then I started this YouTube channel. In January 2017, I called it Kid Critic. And I liked that name then, but I changed it recently because, I wouldn't call myself a kid anymore. So I changed it to JW Reviews, and JW is my initials. And then I changed it, and I was like, that's a pretty solid name. And what I always do is I look up the YouTube channel name before, after I do it, just to see if I'm the first person that shows up. But then Chris Stuckman released his Jehovah's Witness video, and so whenever you type in JW Reviews, you get Chris Stuckman's Jehovah's Witness video, so I'm probably going to have to change my name soon. Thanks, Chris. No offense, Chris. I love you. Anyways, till this day, I have watched Batman vs. Superman the most out of all the DCEU movies. And it wasn't till a couple weeks ago where I admitted to myself, I enjoyed this movie. Right off Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I love, I ordered the 4K limited edition, the IMAX restored scenes, which also took forever to come in the mail, by the way. Thanks, Target. I watched the movie from the beginning to end, and I did not look at my phone, and I decided this is my most important viewing of this movie. This is the only time I watched this. A couple of days ago was the only time I've watched Batman vs. Superman as a professional. And so I was extremely nervous as I was going into the Snyder Cut, just knowing that this is going to be very defining on how I think of these movies. And I watched it, and I think the movie's decent, good. To be completely honest with you, I still don't know. Overall, I could say without a doubt that this movie gets way too much hate. After watching the movie, I remember thinking to myself, 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. That just does not sound right at all. 29%. That's a little harsh. I remember I watched a couple reviews, and I was like, I was gonna look at the criticisms, and I was like, I need to hear valid criticisms, and I know this was a 6-minute intro, but I wanted to use this video to debunk a lot of the criticisms that I think are a little much. Okay. The first subject I want to talk about is Ben Affleck's Batman. I like Ben Affleck's Batman. I still think Christian Bale is the best, but I like Ben Affleck's or Zack Snyder's or whoever's Batman. And I'm about to trigger alert all of you. I don't mind Batman killing. Okay. I feel those dislikes coming down, but here's my reasons. I'm not telling you what you need to be okay with. If you are fine with Batman, if you like Batman killing, go. Fine. You're okay with that. If you don't like Batman killing, go ahead. You have every right to not like that. I watched this movie with my grandma. She hated it. She's like, this is not Batman. What is he doing? This is terrible. And I see why people think that, to be completely honest. But my standpoint is that I am down to see all types of interpretations of characters. That's what keeps me interested in retellings of stories. So seeing Batman kill doesn't make me mad. It makes me fascinated. Sadly, we never got an explanation of why he was killing, though I do believe if everything went according to plan and, nothing was tampered with and everyone was allowed to do what they wanted to do, we would have an answer by now exactly why he killed, especially if we got a Ben Affleck Batman movie. But, so, kill away Batman. All I care is about if the characters are consistent. So Batman, have fun, kill people. A lot of people forgot that his arc in here and in the Snyder Cut are very good. Another big problem that people have with this movie is Lex Luthor's plan. I'll get to Jesse Eisenberg later, but Lex's plan has been very criticized for being too complicated and nonsensical. I agree that his plan is a little much, but I wouldn't call Lex's plan a bad part of the movie. There are many conveniences and stupid stuff in Eddie and many other comic book films that are ignored, and I ignored them here too. I just don't get how Infinity War gets a pass for having so many conveniences in the first act, and this movie gets crap for Lex's plan. I'm not complaining about Infinity War. Infinity War is a great movie and a lot better than this one. I'm just using it as an example as conveniences. The next thing I want to talk about is the Ultimate Edition. If they released the Ultimate Edition in theaters, I bet this movie would have a much higher score on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm not saying it'd have a good Rotten Tomatoes score, I'm saying that it'd be higher. I'm thinking like around 50%, I would say. It fixes a lot, the Ultimate Edition. It fixes the Superman problem. And some scenes felt less choppy, especially the opening scene, one of the opening scenes in the desert. The Superman problem was a big problem for the theatrical cut. The Ultimate Edition fixes every single problem that you would have with Superman. You see him investigate the Batman. You see why he decides that Batman needs to be stopped, instead of lazy loop together mopey scenes that you get in the theatrical cut. Whether you like it or not, Save Martha is a meme, and it's a sad meme. And I just find it very upsetting that an audience perceived something like this and refused to look beyond surface level. And if you call this stupid, this is my 100% opinion, if you think that this scene is stupid, you are thinking about this movie as a 2-year-old. You watch the scene and they literally show you the reasoning in flashbacks, and you take it as, well, it's because their moms had the same name. That's stupid. And, I'll let Zach explain this because I think he explains it best.
But in the end, he's about to discover that his actions can easily go too far and that he can become what he observes and that what he hates, which the very thing he's fighting against. In this sequence, like, he's basically turned into the murderer of his parents in a way, because like he's allowing them to kill Martha. So like, is he responsible for the death of Martha? Has he become basically 100% the thing that he blinded by his hatred, he's become the thing he hates. But
And now you can't talk about Batman vs. Superman without talking about Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder is a filmmaker that I very much respect. I've never loved him. Like, this video is titled, this Batman vs. Superman is okay. His best film for me is the Snyder Cut. Besides that, I don't love any of his other movies. I think Man of Steel is good. I think both 300 and Watchmen are okay. I don't think I've seen any other of his movies besides those. I like his cinematic eye, and I think he has a lot of cool ideas. But he's still the guy that wanted to call this movie Son of Sun and Night of Night. So, I don't know. But I also wanted to take a moment to recognize how fantastic Hans Zimmer's score is. Like, it's just amazing. It's one of the best comic book scores ever. And I personally think that Hans Zimmer just works just as good with Zack as he does with Christopher Nolan. Like I said, I do have genuine problems with this movie that really dragged it down. Before I get into what I didn't like, I want to get into what I'm mixed about. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor is just so weird to me. I absolutely love Eisenberg's performance, but him being Lex feels like a misfire. What bothers me is that not so much him being Lex, it's what he could have done with the Riddler. Like I said with Batman, I'm fine with any interpretation, but with Batman's interpretation, he was still very much Batman. It's just he made that one choice to kill. It feels like with Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor just missed almost everything about the character. Say what you will about Ben Affleck's Batman, the only really big problem that people have with him is that he kills people. But besides that, most people like him as Batman, and they love the detective work, and they love the warehouse sequence, even though he's just killing people left and right there. But yeah, Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor just really shows how much better he could have been as the Riddler, and I still stand by that. And to be quite honest, I really like this movie all the way up till we get to Doomsday. When we get into Doomsday, it just feels so tacked on, and it just feels like an excuse for explosions. And Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman is awesome. She just didn't need to be in this movie at all. And sadly, the last hour, remember the Ultimate Edition is 3 hours, just really boggles down the movie for me. Don't get me wrong, when Batman and Superman are fighting, the fight itself is awesome. Another thing that makes me laugh, by the way, is as soon as Batman decides to, not kill Superman, and because, the way Zack's explained it, I'm not going to get into that, but once he decides he'll spare Superman, Superman immediately trusts him to go save his mother. Just think about it. Someone just held a knife to your throat or cheek or head or whatever and is about to kill you, and he doesn't kill you because you need to go save your mom. Do you trust that person to go save your mom for you? I don't think any person would. And that just kind of makes me laugh every time. And honestly, I think that's a lot stupider than Save Martha, and it's almost funny that Save Martha is the meme. It's like, to me, the meme is, oh yeah, I'm just going to immediately trust you to go save my mom. And that's what bothers me. But, yeah, overall, tonally, this is my kind of movie. I love Zack Snyder's deep themes and parallels, but the last hour of this movie is just what makes it okay. I do really feel bad for this movie. People refuse to look beyond surface level when it comes to this movie, and people fail to understand that Batman vs. Superman is okay, and it always has been.